Hello everyone, Joe Neat here, executive producer on Sea of Thieves with another weekly dev update. It's an exciting week with Shrouded spoils releasing today, and I'm going to talk through a bunch of the stuff that's coming, and obviously keep an eye out for the content update trailer as well that will come alongside this with the delectable John McMurtry and his wonderful voice talking about everything that's in there in a much more refined way than I will. Shrouded spoils is a little bit different to some of our previous updates that we've done on Sea of Thieves, and with this we've really taken a look across the whole game, pulled together a bunch of feedback and pull together just a big list of things that we're adding to the game. And you know, it's kind of hard to describe what's in Shrouded spoils without just going through a big list, so that's what I'm going to go through today. Firstly, expanded ship customization. So the wheel, the capstan and the cannons can now be upgraded visually. There's some really cool stuff coming in this, and again, keep an eye on the content update trailer to really see the cool visuals that are coming in this update for that. A lot of people have been asking for this, you know, those people that are really kind of keen on the visuals, the look of their ship, so it really allows them to kind of expand upon that and really make it their own. Fog is another addition that's coming in with this, and it's a real change to Sea of Thieves. It's a really atmospheric kind of thing that makes it really hard to see, really going to have to use the crow's nest, and really just navigation through the world when you're in this fog is going to change entirely. Suddenly just those little rocks and things that you see in the sea are going to suddenly be much more dangerous to your boat because it's going to be much harder to see them. And encountering other ships out there in the fog is going to be a really kind of memorable moment. So really looking forward to seeing how this plays out in the world. Another really cool addition here is now skeleton galleon ships will be roaming the world, and you know, sometimes they'll just be sailing around passively, sometimes they might sail up to you and attack you, but it's really, again, adds presence, adds danger to the world. So you will now be encountering these just when you're out on adventures, not only when you see one of those clouds on the horizon. So next on the list is skeleton forts. So now all of the skeleton forts can be populated. So you know, the skeletons have moved in there, they've fixed up all the little art issues that were remaining on those islands, very nice of them, and now there's a chance of any of those skeleton forts being populated. So again, when you see that skeleton fort cloud, there's a chance of a really different gameplay experience now, because all those forts have really different layouts, and so different tactics are going to be needed. So really cool to, you know, again, just add that content to the world. Alongside all of the skeleton forts being populated, there are now new skeleton fort rewards. So there's the slightly creepy bone dust merchant alliance crate, because apparently that's really valuable and sought after in the world of Sea of Thieves. I don't know who decided that, but somebody did. And more importantly, there is now the new skeleton fort keg that you can get. So if you manage to kind of defeat a fort and open that vault, there was going to be this keg wrapped in bones, which is 3 times more powerful. It's obviously super valuable as well if you decide to go and cash that in, but I imagine when we look at our telemetry, no one ever will, because they'll want to use it to blow other people up, and that's absolutely fine. So the Kraken. So I've obviously had lots of feedback around the Kraken, whether it's been not appearing enough or there not being rewards for defeating it, and so we've been working on that internally. So the Kraken, we've improved some of the behaviours as well, so you'll see a little bit of new behaviour from the Kraken when it attacks ships as well, in terms of it kind of slapping ships and doing damage. So a little bit more of a challenge that you're going to get from the Kraken, but it will now appear more frequently, and it will also drop rewards. So every time you kind of take out a tentacle on the Kraken, rewards will drop into the sea that you can go and earn. So yeah, lots of feedback around that. It's great that we can go and revisit that feature and bring it back in a kind of better, stronger way that will actually give you more chances of encountering it, but also more reasons to battle it and defeat it. So alongside the Kraken improvements, we've also been taking a look at the Megalodon. So there's now a wide range of Megalodons in the game in terms of visuals, in terms of behaviours, and also if you now go and engage and take down a Megalodon, then you will get rewards as well for killing one of these creatures in the world. And what's really interesting actually is looking at the data from our Pioneer testing, that it's changed player behaviour quite dramatically. So like when we look at data in the real world, in kind of Sea of Thieves, most people now just don't engage with the Megalodon. You know, they'll see it, it's only if it attacks them or they battle it, but if there's one that just kind of appears alongside, people will just kind of wave at it and play a bit of music and say goodbye. But now in the Pioneer testing, you see so many more people engaging and getting involved in those battles. So it's really cool to take a feature that we've already had, but make it much more engaging, much more interesting, both from the different visuals, the different behaviours, but also the rewards rewards that are now kind of attached to the Megalodon in the world. So really cool to see that change happen from a kind of feedback perspective, but also just looking at our data, really interesting to see how player behavior has changed. And so for both the Kraken and for the Megalodon, those rewards that will drop cover all of the companies in Sea of Thieves. So you might get something for the merchants or for the gold hoarders or for the Order of Souls. One of the key bits of feedback as well has been from our Pirate Legend community about giving Pirate Legends goals to go and achieve kind of specific to them. So with this update, we're bringing in a bunch of Pirate Legend specific commendations for people, some of which are based around the new features that are coming in Shrouded Spoils, some of which are based around previous kind of features that have already existed in Sea of Thieves. Now, one thing to be aware of here is that because of the way our kind of data collecting works and our commendation system works, is that because these are entirely new commendations, even if they're around new features or around old features, everything has to start from kind of a count of 0 here, because if we didn't have things set up as commendations before, we won't have been tracking those that data, tracking those numbers and storing them. And so, you know, we've looked at this from kind of the existing Pirate Legend community, but also people who are going to yet to become Pirate Legend. And we thought that having the widest range of commendations here possible was the right decision, the best decision here. But what it does mean is that if you're already a Pirate Legend, for some of these commendations, for things that maybe you've already done in the game, it is going to be starting at 0 for everybody. But it felt right to us that from this point onwards, having a cool set of Pirate Legend commendations for all legends was better than kind of only having stuff around new things that are coming from this point onwards. You know, so yeah, that's just how our system works. And unfortunately, because we've not been tracking those stats previously, because they weren't part of the commendation system, we can't kind of retroactively go, oh, this Pirate Legend has already done all of these things, and then fill in their Pirate Legend commendations accordingly. So yeah, that's the decision we made. We kind of worked it through in the Pioneer testing. We took feedback, and we felt this was the best decision from this point onwards and moving forward. So with the pirate commendations that are coming in, there are also a range of exclusive cosmetics to Pirate Legends for going and completing those commendations. So really cool reasons to go and engage with those and go and complete them. So really excited to be bringing that to our Pirate Legend community. So another thing that we're revisiting is the Mermaid statues that we used for one of our time-limited build rat adventures. These are now kind of back in the game, more prevalent, and also if you destroy them you will get rewards. So there are different types of gems that these statues will drop. So when you're sailing around, kind of keep your ears open for that kind of Mermaid song. You can dive into the water, discover these statues, destroy them and take rewards, which you can obviously then take back and cash in. So those gems that you can collect from Mermaid statues, sapphires, emeralds and rubies, you can take those back and cash them in with the trading company of your choice. So you'll get gold, but you'll also get rep with that trading company. So another thing that we've been looking at based on a lot of player feedback, based on looking at the data, is the achievements in Sea of Thieves. So we definitely got a lot of feedback around launch on Sea of Thieves with the achievements, and the fact that getting all of the achievements in Sea of Thieves was a real challenge. And it was something that we balanced quite late in the process, around, like leading up to launch. And it's fair to say that we got some of those that balance wrong. And I think this has been highlighted by a player in our community recently becoming the first player to ever get all of the Sea of Thieves achievements. And I believe it took them over 2,000 hours. And this is something we've been looking at for a while. And so we've taken a look at what the really hard to achieve achievements are, and we're balancing those down with the Shrouded Spoils release. So with the rebalance of some of the achievements in Sea of Thieves, what we're doing here is we're taking what was a previously pretty much unattainable number and we're dropping it down quite significantly. If you happen to have already passed that number, what it will do is, let's say we're reducing a number to collect 500 of this thing, it will now drop to 499. So you'll then have to go and do that thing once more, and it will then ping, it will give you the achievement. But in the background, what we're doing is that if anybody has achieved any of these achievements that we've balanced already, we are going to be going in, looking at the data, identifying those players, and then awarding them an overachiever sale, which is a specific custom sale just that will only be for people that have already completed the achievements at this point when we're doing this rebalance, just to recognise that you've already done this. So it's an amazing kind of achievement for you, and that you get this custom thing that only you will be able to display in game. Another big point of feedback was when we introduced the new inventory system and around inventory management, especially when you're on the cannon and looking to select between different cannonballs. So something that we've been working on for a little while is just the ability to have your radial active when you're on a cannon now. So if you're on a cannon and you pull up the the item radial, it will automatically just show you the cannonballs that you have. So if you have normal cannonballs, if you have cursed cannonballs, so you can really quickly select, load, fire. So just a really nice kind of quality of life improvement to the overall inventory system there. Another thing we've been looking at is since we released Forsaken Shores, we've been kind of just monitoring over time feedback around the volcanoes and the frequency of them. And so we've done a little bit of balancing here to just reduce the frequency of the volcanoes going off. And we've also looked at just the kind of difficulty of them in terms of how often they're kind of hitting players, ships and stuff. So there's a little bit of kind of balancing work we've done here just to make it a little bit less frustrating. So, we've been testing that in Pioneers. We want to test it out more kind of at scale with all of our audience and just see have we got this right, and so but we definitely had heard the feedback and seen the frustration about things were going off a little bit too frequently in Forsaken Shores. Nearly at the end of the list now, but we're bringing in a bunch of commendations around all of the new stuff that's coming into Shrouded Spoils, so go and visit Duke and find out what those are. And then there's also some time limited cosmetics. So this is the Wailing Barnacle set, again a really cool new set of cosmetics that you can go and earn during the time period that Shrouded Spoils is running. So I think that's everything. I've probably forgotten some stuff, but I'm sure you'll find it pretty quickly. So really looking forward to getting this update out there. There's a ton of cool stuff in here, and just really looking forward to how this changes kind of the world of Sea of Thieves, just the feeling of that world, the richness of it, the encounters with skeleton ships, the fog. I think it's going to bring a lot to just the world of Sea of Thieves. Loads of different things to go and engage with. Really looking forward to battling the Megalodons, battling the Kraken again. It's a really cool, really rich update, and the team's been working super hard on it, and we're as excited as you are to get out there and play it in the wild. So yeah, I think that's it. As always, look forward to questions, feedback, and I will see you on the seas. Cheers.
Thank you very much for watching. If you want to stay up to date with everything Sea of Thieves, then subscribe to our channel and click that little ship's bell for all those notifications. Cheers. Don't worry, I'll just wait here. I'm not doing much anyway. Couple of good videos there if you want to watch.